Oh, that's good.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to At the Coalface Live for this Friday, 18th of February, 2022. It is awesome to be along with you again for the ride this Friday. You probably noticed that my surroundings look a little bit different to the norm, as I normally broadcast from home, typically on a Friday. But we have been on the road for the last week, myself and my wife, Sarah. So we've been traveling around in this camper van. We hired this about a week ago now, and it's been amazing. We've been taking a bit of a tiki tour around the Coromandel Peninsula all the way down to Tauranga and then back up the other side again on our way back to Auckland. So it's been a fantastic trip, been a bit of a working holiday for me. So it's been really nice. It's been great to extend out this is sort of a bit of a Valentine's play for me. So I decided to extend Valentine's Day into Valentine's week and to get away for a bit of a trip. So it's been a heck of a good time, but yeah, just been working along the way. So it's been good, and it's awesome to be here with you as I always am every single Friday. You can see that I'm not clean shaven either, so it's obviously been about a week since I've shaved as well. So anyways, it is very good to be with you. And as has been the norm for the last few weeks, I have started to move in a more topical direction with the news of the week. And what I found is that allows me to dig a little bit deeper into themes or topics or buckets of news or buckets of thinking that I'm having at that given point in time, as opposed to trying to rush through 20 different news articles of a variety of different things and trying to give you a 30-second hot take on that. So this week, we're going to talk about marketplaces specifically, and there's been a ton of marketplace news released this week, and we're going to talk about those pieces of news as well as my take, my thinking on where marketplaces are at, where they're likely to go in the future, what the impact of the metaverse is going to be on this, etc., etc., etc. So we'll kick off with a bit of news around eBay. Now, eBay has announced in Australia their in-house fulfillment service for sellers, and they've named it eBay Fulfillment by Orange Connects. Now, Orange Connects is a third party. You can think of them almost like a 3PL, 4PL player, basically a contract logistics player. And unlike Amazon, which for the vast majority of Amazon's both middle mile and last mile services, those services are 100% owned by Amazon. So in other words, they own the planes, the trains, the automobiles, the ships, well, not necessarily owning the ships, but they own the containers on those ships. And Amazon has been known most recently for hiring out or renting or leasing full-blown container ships to only service their containers. So when we think of fulfillment by Amazon and we think of the plays that Amazon has been making recently to move outside of just moving goods that are sold through their marketplace, now they're obviously wanting to expand into servicing other marketplaces and servicing resellers and retailers selling on their own website, but using and scaling up their logistics to meet those requirements of sellers, regardless of whether that particular item was sold on Amazon or not. And so this article, which actually just happened to be by Power Retail, but there was a lot of news that hit the scenes when this was announced. So this goes back almost exactly a week ago, this initial announcement by eBay Fulfillment by Orange Connects, and the article specifically called out that said last year eBay debuted these services in the UK and Germany. eBay Fulfillment by Orange Connects, which launched today in Australia, as a service that is similar to FBA Fulfillment by Amazon, allowing sellers access to benefits such as end-to-end tracking and eBay Plus integration. As part of the launch, eBay is integrating its fulfillment centers in Sydney with plans to roll out more in Australia's capital cities as time goes by. At eBay, we understand that housing, managing stock, and delivery in tight timeframes can be challenging for a growing business, especially as e-commerce continues to accelerate and consumers expect faster and more seamless experiences, said Hyatt Horma, Director of Shipping at eBay Australia. They said as online marketplaces continue to grow in popularity across Australia, there's been an increasing demand for services like FBA. A report from eBay Australia in August of 2021 on 211 online sellers indicated that 73% of businesses said it's important that online marketplaces offer fulfillment services. Now, when we start looking at the age-old battle between eBay and Amazon, which in large part, Amazon has largely won, eBay still has a very, very large diehard following amongst sellers and customers. But sorry about that. The dog's gone crazy here. eBay definitely has its diehard, it has its diehard customers. It's got its diehard resellers and retailers, and it obviously has a large secondhand market as well, which Amazon does not have. So eBay has definitely carved out its own unique niche in the marketplace. Uh, but in terms of total revenue, in terms of global representation, etc., Amazon has absolutely won that battle, lock, stock, and bar. And so, what we could say about this sort of fulfillment service is eBay slowly trying to play catch up. Now, Orange Connects is a pretty large global logistics and fulfillment player, and as a result of that, you can expect this to slowly expand much more globally over time. And we can expect eBay to continue to take a leaf out of Amazon's book. We can expect them to continue to learn from. We can expect them to continue to learn from Amazon and trying to basically compete in every way that they can with every service that they can. Now, what's interesting about this move by eBay is the fact that much like Shopify has tried to bring out fulfillment services. Now, as you know, over the last month or so, there's been a massive Barney in the media between the media and Business Insider, etc., who had called out the fact that Shopify was looking to potentially terminate up to 50% of its warehouse agreements in North America with fulfillment warehouses and fulfillment providers as part of its retrenching of its strategy on offering fulfillment, which by their own, estimation is still very much in beta terms. And the challenge with this is that, as eBay's research has rightly pointed out, anybody who runs a marketplace, and you can think of Shopify's network of stores almost like a marketplace, right? They are independent sellers. They've got their own independent e-commerce websites, yes. But when we look at things like, Shopify payments, which is universal across every single Shopify site. So therefore, if you've shopped on one Shopify site and you've saved your payment details, then any other Shopify site that you happen to purchase on, those details are immediately pulled up, and it's effectively almost like a one-click checkout experience. So we can think of Shopify a bit like a network of e-commerce websites, which is what they are, and they've been making maneuvers and edging ever closer to that marketplace model, with their app and a few other things. They've made some overtures towards a marketplace model, but they're clearly not the traditional type of marketplace like an Amazon or an eBay. However, what I think this research from eBay, and obviously this latest play by eBay, points out is that if you are going to leverage the network effect for the benefit of your merchants. So when we think of Shopify having something like 1.7 or nearly 2 million websites on Shopify today, that by definition means that they have a massive network effect. And network effect brings with it economies of scale. And so obviously eBay brings economies of scale because they've collected on one side of the coin, they got their sellers. On the other side of the coin, they've got their buyers, and they're the facilitator in between, as all marketplaces are. But because of the network effect and because of the huge amount of sellers they have on their platform and the buyers that they have on their platform, they automatically bring economies of scale to any logistics play that they would choose to bring to market, like they have with this one. So it makes absolute sense that eBay would do this while they still have the strength of their brand and the strength of their network to be able to leverage this into a smart logistics play. It makes absolute sense that they would do this. So let's keep an eye on this. I expect it to expand. They say that they're in UK, Germany, and Australia now with this eBay fulfillment by Orange Connects. I expect them to slowly but methodically roll this out globally over time to better compete with Amazon in its core markets around the world. So let's watch this space. I think that every single major marketplace out there, and we're talking, all the way from a Trade Me to a Catch Group to any of the, to an Iconic, to any of those marketplaces out there that have a large and growing presence in a specific region, where they have the network effects already built up, where they have millions of customers already in their databases, it is an absolute no-brainer for them to start offering fulfillment services, aggregated fulfillment services directly through their platform in an integrated, turnkey, point-and-click way. And obviously, it gives these guys a chance to clip the ticket on all the fulfillment as well. So not only do they bring network effects to the table, but it's another potential revenue stream for them, or at least least, it makes them more sticky. If they offer a more turnkey end-to-end solution across their marketplace, then by definition, that makes them more sticky with sellers. So go ahead and let's just watch what is going to play out here. But I think every major marketplace is going to have to do a deal similar to this with local, massive, large logistics players. Because at the end of the day, if in the case of Australia, for example, if Aussie Post or the existing major nationwide logistics players, the Star Treks of the world, etc., if they are really the only option for retailers, but when we think about the fact that even in an environment like that, you know, apart from some very, very select agreements that Post and Star Trek have with some of the biggest retailers in Australia, they don't offer a turnkey solution for both 3PL and 4PL services. They don't do all the warehousing on behalf of retailers. They are a carrier service. End of story. They are a courier service, for lack of a better term, and they get products from point A to point B. But if you want to have a turnkey solution where order management and warehouse management and fulfillment, and so the pick, pack, dispatch, everything rolled into one for one fixed fee per parcel, per shipment, etc. If you want to offer that turnkey solution, then you have to be working with a much bigger, much more holistic logistics provider. And so I think that that's obviously what they've done when they've partnered with Orange Connects, which is a much more holistic global logistics provider than just middle mile, last mile. And so I expect this to make bigger news around the world. And I expect many other marketplaces to copy this model, potentially even Shopify. Shopify's already gone down the path of starting to set up their own warehouses and their own contract logistics and looking to potentially contract out specific last mile delivery partners. And I think that's going to be potentially a challenge because logistics are not Shopify's strong point. They don't have any team members internally that are really super strong in the logistics space. So it would probably make more sense for them to partner with a global logistics player, much as they have with Stripe for payments, for Shopify payments, which is the underpinning of Shopify payments. I think a partnership makes a lot of sense here for most major marketplaces, including Shopify. So watch this space is the key takeaway here. Now, we've got a tale of two marketplaces at the moment in Australia going beyond the eBay announcement in Australia. We've got a tale of two marketplaces here. We've got some interesting data that has come out most recently from MyDeal and Catch Group. Now, I've talked extensively in the past about the fact that Australia is one of the most marketplaced countries in the world, perhaps over marketplaced is potentially, a situation that Australia is rapidly getting itself into because they've got so many marketplaces. They've got more marketplaces, I think, than any other country in the world. And you can rapidly get to a place where you've got more marketplaces than you have potential consumers, and you have massive overlap between both the retailers and the products that are listed across multiple marketplaces. And so we're starting to see the effect of that now with some of the announcements by Catch. So if we say there was a report out by Internet Retailing just yesterday, it says Catch sales growth stagnates in the first half. Online marketplace Catch increased its gross transaction value by just 1% to $616 million during the December half. Parent Wesfarmers said elevated sales during lockdowns were offset by a decline as restrictions eased. However, compared with the half year to December 2019, GTV was up 97.5%, showing gains made during the early stages of the two-year-long COVID-19 pandemic have been maintained. Wesfarmers said the number of active customers on the site increased by 100,000 during the half, taking the total to $3 million. So what we're seeing is a plateauing here as more and more marketplaces come on stream in Australia. We're seeing a plateauing of growth by the entrenched mega marketplaces like Catch, which were one of the earliest to market. Now, on the flip side of that, so we've got Catch announcing the fact that they are right at that 3 million customer account mark. We have MyDeal on the flip side saying that it has topped 1 million active shoppers and it has posted strong growth. And again, this was a report from Internet Retailing yesterday. It said the Melbourne-based e-commerce company MyDeal said it has surpassed 1 million active shoppers, with returning customers accounting for 61% of all online transactions. So 1 million active shoppers doesn't mean that they have 1 million accounts. It just means that they had 1 million shoppers. And what it said is the company's customer base grew to 963,883 as at December the 31st. So nearly a million registered customers. It says the company recorded $83.1 million in gross sales for the second quarter of the financial year. Half year sales were estimated at $152.6 million. The company saw gross sales of sales growth of over 240% year on year due to its in-stock strategy. MyDeal sells a range of products from Camera House, Shaver Shop, basically all these major retailers, as well as manufacturing brands. And they said not only is MyDeal attracting new customers, but our customers are shopping and spending more with us. MyDeal CEO Sean Severtine told Business News Australia, "We see this loyalty shine through in our app download numbers with over 400,000 total app downloads to date after launching less than 9 months ago." He added there have been more than 400,000 app downloads since it launched just over, oh, that's a repeat of the prior sentence. "As we look ahead, we will continue to grow our share of the market and are well positioned to capitalize on the increased demand for online shopping," said 17. So MyDeal's been around for a very long time. I don't know exactly how many years, but they've been around for a very long time in Australia. We have Catch that's been around for a very long time in Australia. We see Catch starting to plateau, but they're at nearly 3 million customers. We have MyDeal at nearly 1 million customers, and they are still seeing strong growth. So you can imagine that what's happening here is that the additional 2 million people, 2 million customers that Catch has that MyDeal doesn't have, they could potentially cannibalize those customers and bring them across to MyDeal if they can continue to create points of differentiation, points of curation, both in terms of retailers and products on the platform. And largely, this is what is happening. We're seeing mass cannibalization across all marketplaces globally, and that's why we have seen in most countries other than Australia, we've seen one, maybe two hyper strong, hyper dominant marketplaces emerge in those regions, and they just decimate and put pretty much almost everyone else out of business, or basically everyone else takes the scraps that major marketplace leaves behind. We can look at that in New Zealand. We look at TradeMe, and they are by far the most dominant marketplace in New Zealand. The market is starting to do some good things, particularly in brand new goods, because they don't deal in secondhand goods like TradeMe does. TradeMe deals in brand new and secondhand goods. And then we have Facebook Market, which is starting to see some pretty strong penetration, but we don't know the exact numbers of that. We just know anecdotally that Facebook Market, because of their no fee structure associated with sales across their marketplace, that is very, very attractive for Kiwis, and it's very attractive in many countries around the world, not just in New Zealand. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these mega marketplaces stack up against Facebook Market over time, particularly if Facebook starts to introduce functionality more like particularly some of the secondhand marketplaces like TradeMe, where they offer a bidding function. So if you're selling something secondhand in TradeMe, then you can set up a $0 reserve if you want to, or any reserve you like, and then you can have people bid on your products, and the product sells to the highest bidder. So and obviously the same with eBay. eBay has that option as well, that secondhand goods can be sold there, brand new goods can be sold there, fixed price or auction style. So it's going to be very interesting to see it, particularly if Facebook introduces an auction style functionality to its marketplace, how much business they can continue to pick up. However, having said that, Facebook is still struggling with really credibility of the marketplace, and the fact that there's been so many international ripoffs perpetuated by the Facebook marketplace. It is considered a less trustworthy marketplace than dominant local marketplaces that have a feedback system, a strong feedback system in place, a strong follow-up system, and automatic blacklisting of users if they do any dodgy type of behavior by the marketplace, because the marketplace is trying to create trust ultimately between buyers and sellers. Facebook doesn't seem to care about trust between buyers and sellers. They seem to just want to go at the market with a free product and see how many people they can get on board with that free product. And it's starting to add to their data set in terms of product images, product names, product description. So they've got bigger plans in mind apart from Facebook Market with the data set. So let's just watch this place. Let's see how this plays out. Now, speaking of marketplaces and stoushes between marketplaces trying to grab customer share, we also have stoushes between major marketplaces and the vendors and partners that they work with. One of those was Amazon, and Amazon has been having a stoush with Visa for over 6 months now around the surcharge that Visa was charging to Amazon Australia customers. And Channel News came out with a report a couple of days, in fact, earlier today, they came out with a report that said spat between Amazon and Visa over the latter's high fees has come to an end. Amazon will accept Visa credit cards across all of its sites after the two reached a global agreement. Amazon threatened to stop accepting Visa credit cards in the UK due to the processing fees Visa charged customers. Similar charges were also being charged in Australia. As of today, Visa will waive all fees in Australia. We've recently reached a global agreement with Visa that allows all customers to continue using their Visa credit cards in our stores, an Amazon spokesperson confirmed. This agreement includes the acceptance of Visa at all Amazon stores and sites today, as well as a joint commitment to collaboration on new products and technology initiatives to ensure innovative payment experiences for our customers in the future, Visa added. So obviously they've buried the hatchet. It was no good for them to be fighting against each other. Obviously, Visa needs Amazon. Amazon needs Visa. It's, at the end of the day, they're joined at the hip together. Almost everybody has a Visa card, and they obviously want to use those on Amazon, particularly as Amazon continues to grow market share in Australia. So it makes no sense for these two companies to continue to battle it out commercially when they can just bury the hatchet and both make a ton of money by coming to a global agreement, which is what they've done. Now, Charged Retail Tech News out of the UK came out with a news story yesterday that said Alibaba combats weak consumer spend with new online retail model. Now, Alibaba, obviously, with its suite of global marketplaces, is a global marketplace player out of China. And it says Alibaba is aiming to combat the trend of weak consumer spend in China by introducing a new direct online retail model to complement its already existing operation. So it sounds like, based on, and I'll read a little bit more about this story, but what it feels like Alibaba is trying to do is trying to emulate Amazon. So Amazon is a frenemy to its sellers on its marketplace. So it sells products directly to consumers on its marketplace. So Amazon is a retailer in its own right, selling its own products or products that it distributes via its own marketplace directly to consumers as in a first-party way. But it also has third-party sellers on its marketplaces, which is how most marketplaces work, is having third-party sellers. When we look at eBay and we contrast eBay with Amazon, eBay does not compete with its sellers by selling against them on its own marketplace. eBay is not a retailer. They are a pure marketplace. Amazon is a competitor to their own resellers and their own retailers on their own marketplace. And it sounds like what Alibaba is trying to do is to go down much more of an Amazon path. Historically, they haven't competed with their sellers. Historically, they have only been a marketplace. They've only run a marketplace model, both B2B and B2C. However, it sounds like they are trying to change tack and go after the fatter, juicier margins of selling direct to consumer. It says the move will boost the e-commerce giant's core business while competition heats up in mainland China. A new app will be launched as part of the move called Maojiang and will be introduced via Tmall to establish an online retail model in which Alibaba is directly involved in sourcing, buying, storing, and marketing goods in a similar way to main rival JD.com's traditional operation, a report by Late Post said. Alibaba has also been in conversation with a number of consumer electronics brands ahead of the new model launch, according to the report. The company's business-to-consumer retail group will be in charge of the operation, with development starting at the end of last year. Its new e-commerce direction came after it restructured the back-end operations of its Taobao and Tmall platforms. Taobao was set up in 2003 as a marketplace for small businesses and individuals, while Tmall launched in 2008 and focused on international and Chinese brands and retailers to run their online storefronts. The reorganization involved the establishment of 3 new operating centers that are focused on platform strategies, user expansion, and industrial development for merchants, according to a report in January by state-run newspaper People's Daily, citing an internal Alibaba letter. So yes, as I suspected, they're doing much more of a DTC or direct consumer model to compete with both Amazon and JD.com. So watch this space. Very, very interesting things out of Alibaba. I did not think they would ever go down this path, but they obviously are looking at those juicy retail margins and saying we cannot miss out on this forever. Now, in terms of new marketplace news, Pretty Little Thing has announced in the UK that they plan to launch a resale marketplace as it embraces sustainability. So Pretty Little Thing has announced it will launch a resale marketplace to rival the likes of Depop, which is a major secondhand marketplace. The move comes as part of a wider strategy to shake off the negative press around its sustainability practices and embrace circular fashion. Company creative director Molly May Haig announced the move during a press day ahead of her debut catwalk show, which took place on Wednesday. Haig confirmed that the PLT marketplace would launch exclusively in the UK before being rolled out internationally by the end of the year. Consumers will be able to sell all of their wardrobe on the marketplace and not just just their pre-owned Pretty Little Thing items. It's not going to be just Pretty Little Thing pieces. You can sell pretty much anything on there, which is obviously encouraging sustainability. Hugely Haig told Retail Gazette. So I think we're going to start seeing, as the concept of sustainability, particularly around sustainability in fast fashion, starts to take hold in the hearts and minds of consumers, I think we're going to see many more marketplaces like this pop up. And we're going to see some creative models starting to pop up, including, again, that fulfillment piece to get products from customer to customer, because obviously marketplaces like Pretty Little Thing, when you're selling secondhand goods, this is a peer-to-peer marketplace. This is an individual end customer selling a product to another individual end customer, with Pretty Little Thing facilitating the sale in the middle and clipping the ticket along the way, much like TradeMe's secondhand marketplace and eBay's secondhand marketplace works. So I suspect that Pretty Little Thing, if they see massive success with this, that they will again bring in some kind of a fulfillment partner that will pick up the goods from one customer and take them to the other customer. So it'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. But I see this as a burgeoning market around sustainability within fast fashion, and Pretty Little Things and other fast fashion players have been lambasted for things such as poor product quality, where the products have been sourced from. Is there modern slavery involved? Is it using sustainable materials? Is it high quality enough that we can wear these over a long period of time? So there's been a lot of questions leveled at brands like Pretty Little Thing. And so it makes sense that they would want to polish up their reputation a little bit by creating a secondhand marketplace for their goods as well as other fast fashion items. And obviously they can clip the ticket, so they can make a little bit of money off of the resale of that fashion. So they've got a ready-made market in their existing customer base that they can market this new offering to, and they pretty much have a turnkey solution for those customers. So good on Pretty Little Thing. Let's see if they can build a market around their brand new marketplace. Now, thank you very much for spending time with me today. It's 4:30, nearly spot on. So it's fantastic to be with you today. Fantastic to talk about marketplaces, share a little bit of my thoughts around marketplace strategy, marketplace challenges, marketplace growth constraints, as well as what individual marketplaces in this neck of the woods, as well as elsewhere around the world, are doing at the moment. So hopefully you found that interesting. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll look forward to catching up with you next Friday right here on at the Coalface Live. Cheers, guys. Talk to you soon.